Elkins Orchestra asked way back in 1922, "Who cares?" Well, this presentation will show you something you need to care a lot about, particularly as a college student conducting research and creating projects. You should care about copyrights and intellectual property. You may wonder why these are a concern. First, let's find out what copyrights and intellectual property are. A copyright is the protection of original works by an author that have been fixed in some tangible medium or expression. Examples of this would include written work like novels or articles in journals, scripts for plays, recorded music or dramatic performances, and even pictures, photographs, and other graphics. All of these can be both hard copies on paper or tape, or digital products as well. The media type explains how the work has been fixed in a permanent sense. Here's an interesting fact. Frequently, you'll see a little copyright symbol on copyrighted materials. However, did you know that once the author's work has been fixed in some sort of medium, it never needs to be officially copyrighted to be protected? For that reason, even work without a symbol is likely to be copyright protected. Now let's talk a little bit about another form of protected media, intellectual property. Intellectual property can be forms of trademarked media like logos, names, or symbols for companies. It can be publicity info, including images and voice recordings of individuals. And finally, it can include trade secrets and patents. You'll notice that both copyright and intellectual property regulations serve to protect the authors or copyright holders. They protect the author's creative efforts, allowing the author to maintain commercial benefits. In other words, the money they are able to collect from their unique work. And it also allows them to control how their works are used. Their work can be reproduced and distributed for a variety of purposes, further modified, and displayed publicly in many ways. All of these regulations help to protect the work and the efforts of the author. You may wonder why you need to be concerned with these issues. Given the digital world in which we live, it is very easy to duplicate and share copyrighted materials, and violations can occur very easily. These violations could take place within your own schoolwork. Violations of copyright run the risk of costing you as much as $100,000 per incident, in addition to the legal fees that you would incur. For these reasons, it is very important to consider copyright regulations when completing digital media projects. Another important consideration is that you will create your own original works, which will be protected by copyright. There are many instances where you have the green light to use materials without worrying about copyright. This would include work that you created yourself, and therefore you are the copyright holder. If the work was produced by the government, it is likely considered to be public domain and is therefore not copyrighted. Also, if the work is very old, the copyright has likely expired. You can learn more about these exceptions to copyright within the course's additional resources. There are many ways to proceed with caution to avoid copyright violations. First, try to use sources that are in the public domain. If the work is copyrighted, then seek permission to use the materials from the copyright holder, or just find an alternative. If you are not sure you are violating a copyright, then feel free to ask your instructor for guidance. Never alter or change copyrighted materials unless permission has been granted. And of course, always cite your sources properly. You will learn more about copyrights, proper use of materials, and will have access to additional resources within the course.